Jaya999, this is Jaya Chakkaravarthy. Says, hi Ave, I'm a self-taught texturing and look development artist, passionate about breaking into film production. I specialize in texturing both hard surface assets and creatures, and I also have experience with grooming. Nice. It's been nearly 8 months since I started applying for junior texturing roles, but I haven't received any positive response so far. I'm wondering if there's something I need to improve, whether it's my technical skill or the way I present my work. Any honest feedback would be appreciated. Take a look. Actually, I think I saw your stuff on Reddit, Jaya. I think I saw your stuff on Reddit. I think you posted that. Yeah. You posted this one, right? I think I saw your demo reel. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look. So the first thing I see, it's very clean. I like that. The peg looks very nice. Images instead. Yeah. Nice. Maya texturing Mari. Okay. Nice. Okay. Yeah, the peg I really like. Really like the pig. Nice reference. Udems. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is the big difference between game development and film development. In film, you can go crazy with topology. You can go crazy with textures. Look at the amount of Udems that we have right here. This is what, like 30 Udems, 32 Udems or something like that. And I'm guessing it's going to be like 2K or 4K. Like it's ridiculous, right? And it's just for a pig. For a simple pig that's going to be maybe on the background. Unless it's like Babe in like the movie. And he's like the main like character. But yeah, this is great, man. Yeah, this is an amazing like project. I love all of the variation and the texture, and the grooming again looks very nice, very nice. This one is interesting. This one I don't like as much. I think it's the color combination in general. This is a little trick that I've been using quite a bit lately. Whenever you want to check whether or not colors are working nice with each other, desaturate them. Desaturate the colors. And what do you guys see right here? Can you tell me? What we see right now is that it's very vibrant everywhere, and if we again desaturate the element, you're gonna see that most of the values of the colors are very similar. Okay, so the head is very similar, the chest is very similar, the pants are very similar. Like pretty much we have the exact same range of values everywhere, and what that generates again internally, sort of like subconsciously or unconsciously or however you're gonna say it, it blends everything together because our brains, we perceive values and that kind of stuff first, and then we perceive color. So that's why this doesn't look as appealing right now to me, because all of the colors have a very similar value. So in terms of look depth, because I know you're a look depth artist, make sure that you vary the values a little bit. Like not every single thing or not every single element should have the exact same value. We could have the body be brighter, for instance, a lighter value. We could have some of the cloth elements be a little bit darker, and that way we're gonna have contrast in the values that gets translated to contrast on the colors. Okay, very important principle there. So that would be my advice for this character right here. Otherwise, yeah, this looks like a character that could be in, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that. This is another one, and this is important. And I'm gonna be a little bit more technical with you, my friend, because you have a different goal right here. One thing that I'm noticing on most of the work so far is that your roughness map is again very uniform, very noisy, and we're not really seeing any variation on some of the elements. So for instance, if this is the jacket, right? Like let's say that's the jacket of our character, and it's supposed to be a leather jacket. We know that the wider a value gets in the roughness channel, the more flat it's going to look, right? Like the more matte it's going to look. So what we can do, for instance, is we could start adding a little bit of roughness on the metal edgeware, right? I know we talk about metal edgeware all the time, but see how by adding this like damages on the borders of the element, maybe some scratches here on the leather, again a little bit more damage over on this side, right? Even on this belt, we can add a little bit of that damage. Like that stuff breaks up the roughness map quite a bit. Okay, like that is the element, or that's the secret to generating a texture that looks a little bit more interesting. Because right now, the roughness map here in your textures, yes, you have different roughnesses. The skin is different than the jacket and the rest of the props. But one thing that I see is that in all of your objects, the roughness is very similar. Okay, so that's not what we want to have. We want to have variation inside of the roughness, certain points or certain elements that are going to give you a more interesting effect. Okay. That's in terms of like making your stuff a little bit nicer. And I'm guessing we're going to see something similar here. The color information looks really nice. I can see a little bit more glossiness. There you go. Albedo, nice. What's this? Okay, yeah, like this. Like this is too little variation on the metalness of the element. I would expect to see a little bit more metalness variation, especially with an element like this. This one definitely has more roughness variation. This is the kind of stuff that we're looking for. Like really, really interesting differences in all of the components. Transmission, and what's this? Displacement. Okay, awesome. Yeah, just make sure, Yaya, that when you're doing your elements, you incorporate a little bit more of that variation in them. Okay, oh, that's amazing. Look at the channel. Careful, and you're gonna be the first one today. Careful with the metal edgeware, right, that we talked about. It's not common to have metal edgeware everywhere. So again, you can have certain areas where there's not a lot of metal edgeware. Break it up a little bit, and that's gonna give you something that looks more natural. It looks very nice to have metal edgeware and dirt everywhere, but again, it's not how it happens in the real world. So you can expect to have a little bit less information in certain areas of the object. Okay. But yeah, man, this is cool. This is cool, man. Now, there is one more thing that I would tell you, Yaya, and we need to move to the next one because otherwise I'm never gonna finish. One thing that you can try to do, and this is gonna be quite important for the presentation of your assets, is try to incorporate your assets in a scene, okay? That's gonna be, again, fundamental, especially you, because you want to work in films, so you want to make sure that your stuff looks good when it's on top of a live plate, right? So it might be worth it to learn a little bit about compositing, you know, like in Nuke or After Effects or DaVinci or whatever, and try to just, for instance, go to a farm near you or to the hills or whatever, take a picture and try to make it so that your character is there. That way, people are going to know that you are thinking about the final position where your character is going to be. And look dev, especially look dev artists, they do play quite a bit with the composition side of things because they are thinking about the final look of the element, right? Like the final result that we're going to be seeing. So that would be my advice for you, because in technical aspects, you have a really good grasp of the techniques and of the softwares. It's more about how you sell yourself as a more complete package of an artist, right? Like being able not only to do texturing and rendering, but also to maybe incorporate that into a scene and do sort of like the full process.